The War Council chamber of the Corinthian Empire fell silent as Commander Vexithor slammed his armored fist against the holographic table. Battle-hardened warlords from across the galaxy shifted uncomfortably in their seats, their various appendages twitching with unease. "You want us to do what?" Vexthor's voice reverberated through the chamber, his four eyes narrowing at the intelligence officer who had just delivered the mission briefing. High Command requests a strike team to intercept the human transport vessel carrying their Special Forces operatives, the officer repeated, his voice wavering slightly. A collective groan rippled through the assembled warlords. General Krax, a seasoned veteran of 30 campaigns, stood abruptly. His exoskeleton gleamed under the chamber's lights as he addressed the room. "I fought the Zelkaron hive. I faced the mechanical legions of Proxima. I even survived the Void Wraiths." He paused, his mandibles clicking nervously. "But I refuse to engage human special forces. Find someone else." Vexthor's expression darkened. "General, this is not a request. This is a suicide mission," interrupted Warlord Thessa, her crystalline form pulsing with agitation. "Do you know what happened to the Drakmor fleet when they ambushed a human special forces team on Kepler 442b? The room fell deathly quiet. Everyone knew the story. The Drakmor had outnumbered the humans 50-1. They had superior firepower, tactical advantage, and the element of surprise. 3 days later, the entire Drakmor battalion had been wiped out. The 12 human operators had walked out without a single casualty, carrying their wounded and humming something they called cadence songs. Meanwhile, aboard the UNSC transport ship Valkyrie's Descent, Merida checked her weapon systems for the 3rd time. The tall, athletic woman had served with the 75th Ranger Regiment for 8 years before being recruited into the elite task force Phantom. Her short auburn hair was pulled back tightly, and her green eyes scanned the pre-mission briefing with practiced efficiency. "You're making me nervous with all that checking," Jarath said from across the cargo bay. The lean, dark-haired operative was busy strapping knives to seemingly every part of his combat suit. As a former Navy SEAL turned Delta Force operator, he had a reputation for being prepared for absolutely anything. "Intel suggests the Corinthians might try something stupid," Merida replied without looking up. High Command intercepted chatter about a possible ambush. Jarath grinned, that familiar, dangerous smile that had preceded countless successful operations. "Let them try. Remember what happened last time someone thought ambushing us was a good idea?" Merida allowed herself a small smile. "The Zorgath Collective. They're still finding pieces of their war mechs scattered across that moon. What made human special forces so terrifying to the galactic community wasn't just their training or technology, though both were formidable. It was their mindset. While other species fought with logical precision or instinctive fury, humans fought with something else entirely. A stubborn, almost irrational refusal to accept defeat combined with creative problem-solving that bordered on insanity. Back in Nidafid, the Corinthian command chamber, Vexthor was growing desperate. "Surely someone here has the courage to—" "It's not about courage," interrupted Admiral Zixpol, his tentacles coiling defensively. "It's about survival. I've studied human military history. Do you know what they did during their World War II? They stormed beaches under impossible fire. They held frozen positions against overwhelming odds. They developed weapons that could destroy their own planet, and then had the restraint not to use them. Mostly. They're insane," added General Krax. "Absolutely, wonderfully insane. Their Special Forces operators undergo training that would kill most species. They run until their bodies break, then they run more. They practice in every environment, underwater, in space, in fire, in ice. They study not just warfare, but psychology, languages, culture, medicine. They're not just warriors, they're walking multi-tools of controlled chaos." Vexthor slumped in his command chair. He had fought in the galactic wars. He had conquered systems. He had brought entire civilizations to their knees. But even he remembered the footage he'd seen of human special forces in action, moving through hostile territory like ghosts, adapting to situations faster than battle computers could calculate probabilities, accomplishing missions that defied tactical logic. There was a famous saying that had spread throughout the galaxy. If you see a human special forces operator, surrender immediately and pray they accept. If you don't see them, surrender anyway. They're already behind you. The intelligence officer cleared his throat nervously. Sirs, if I may, there's another detail about the human team we'd be engaging. 2 of their operators have particular reputations. One is called Merida. She once held a fortified position alone for 6 hours against a Zarathian battalion. The other is Jerath. He infiltrated a consortium black site, extracted 12 prisoners, and escaped while simultaneously uploading a virus that crippled their entire security network. The Warlords exchanged glances. These weren't just special forces operators. These were legends. Vexthor finally spoke, his voice heavy with resignation. Send a message to High Command. Tell them we recommend avoiding engagement with the human transport. Suggest diplomatic channels instead. You mean surrender? The officer asked. I mean survival, Vexthor corrected. There's a difference between cowardice and wisdom. The humans have a saying, discretion is the better part of valor. For once, I agree with them. Aboard the Valkyrie's descent, an alert chimed. Merida checked the tactical display and raised an eyebrow. Well, that's interesting. The Corinthian fleet just changed course. They're moving away from our trajectory. Jerath chuckled as he finished his equipment check. Smart move. Guess someone over there actually learned from history. Disappointing, though, Merida said with a slight smirk. I was looking forward to some exercise. There's always the next mission, Jerath replied. Someone out there always thinks they can take us. And he was right. Because while alien warlords had learned to fear human special forces, there would always be someone new, someone who hadn't yet learned the most important lesson in galactic warfare. Humans didn't become the apex predators of Earth by giving up. They became apex predators by making sure everything else learned to fear them, even alien warlords.